But what I would like to do is welcome, first of all, our Deputy Mayor, Shirley Jones-Roberts, and her husband, who's here. We're very pleased to have them. Shirley is a recent member, I'm so pleased to say, of the steering group, together with Councillor Alan Hunter, and we have tremendous support from the Town Council. So Shirley, I'd like to invite you to give a welcome address.
Well, firstly, thank you very much for your very kind invitation. Delighted to be here. I know of many, many faces here. And as you kindly said, I'm the second representative from the Town Council. Joined Councillor Hunter last month. So together, you know, I'm sure, well, can't make a difference, but we're all heading in the same direction, aren't we? And it's so nice to know that you have so much support from the town of Abergele in general, and you know the awards. The fact that you've got an award ceremony says a lot, I think, for the town. And I know that you all, you know, your colleagues work so hard behind the scenes, and it's wonderful to be here and joining you this evening. So I will hand back to you.
Thank you very much, Shirley. Okay, do you want to have a sit down?
Yes.
I'll just let you know what's happening this evening. We've really only got 2 items on the agenda. The second of the 2 items will be the presentation, all right? And we'll describe those in more detail later. I'm so pleased that you've come for this presentation. But first, what we would like to do is to invite Chris Roberts to come up. Now, Chris and Jane Roberts, I don't know them at all, but I do know their daughter, Kate. Kate is a very eloquent speaker. She came, in fact, was right there at the very beginning of us starting the steering group. And basically, she told us the story of Chris, who was diagnosed with dementia at the age of 50. And indeed, some of you may have seen the Panorama programme 2 years ago when they took us through the problems of living with dementia. So I thought it would be very apposite for Chris just to give us 5 or 10 minutes on the difficulties of living with dementia and what it means to have a dementia-friendly approach within a village. Chris.
Pardon me for reading. I'm not very good with my memory these days. After a diagnosis of dementia, nobody should feel lost and alone or isolated. But most people do feel like this. I did, my family did. And this is where dementia-friendly communities are changing all this. This is where dementia-friendly communities are helping us live alongside this illness. And the continuing formation of dementia-friendly and inclusive communities, that's a word I love, helping to change all of this. This understanding makes a huge difference. Knowledge is power. Everyone's heard the word dementia, but a lot of people don't understand it still. And it's that unknown that makes it so fearful. It's that dark space under the bed when you're a child. You don't want to go anywhere near it, so you go in denial, you don't talk about it. So if you shine a torch in that dark space, it's not so scary anymore. And that's what dementia friendliness is all about. It's not about going out and stalking people with dementia. It's about helping people. It's about having some knowledge. It's about assisting, supporting. It's about enabling. And that's all I need. I just need support. I just need assistance. And customer service has never been so good, but people with dementia need to almost, as it were, come out and not be scared about saying you have dementia. Because if you tell someone you need help, people will help you. And the more people understand dementia, the more we're going to have a normal conversation about it, and the more we'll normalise it, the same as we did with cancer. Cancer was the big C. Everyone whispered about it, but people started talking about it. And now it's not so scary. People do have that conversation. And we need to do this about the big D. People are scared of something they don't know. There is a beginning and a middle before the end of dementia. And a lot of people forget this, especially because of what's portrayed by the media, I think. The wrinkly old hands and someone almost in a straight jacket and sitting there and dribbling. that's the late stages. You know, if I live that long and I get to that stage, I'm probably the lucky one in our diagnosis, because I'll forget. My family will never have that luxury. So, and when a diagnosis is given, it's given to the whole family. It affects the whole family. So it does become a team effort. So why not expand that team and put it to the whole community? And that's what's sadly lacking these days, is community spirit. But you've got it here in Abergele. I'm seeing it in lots of more places as well. And the knock-on effect of getting it right for dementia is bringing that community spirit back again, which is great to see. And the other knock-on effect, if you get it right for dementia, it helps everybody. There's lots of people coming out now and talking about other mental health issues and mental health illnesses, because people are given permission to talk, permission to act. So when I go into a pub and I've forgotten my money and I explain I've got dementia, they can put on a tab for me. They can ring up Jane, get her to come and pay. The more people I tell that I've got dementia, the more people I educate and the more I normalise it, and that's what you're all doing. So I'd like to show my appreciation from everyone affected by dementia of what you guys are doing. And that's by standing here and saying thank you very much for everything you do, because it is appreciated, it really is. And just a little change makes a huge difference. Thank you.
I have to say, I don't think I've heard it so eloquently put, Chris. Thank you so much. Wonderful, wonderful. So, having set the scene, we're now going to make the presentations. There are 8 organisations that have made pledges. Unfortunately, 3 can't be with us tonight, so I'm going to mention those afterwards. We have got certificates in English and Welsh. And basically, I've got a script that I've been given. So I'm going to just read out a little bit about each organisation, and then we'll invite you to come up and receive the certificate from Shirley and myself. And there's a photo opportunity as well. It's something for you to proudly display in your premises. So the first organisation I'd like to talk about is the Disability Resource Centre, and I know Annette's here this evening. So although the Disability Resource Centre isn't strictly within our catchment area, we are the nearest steering group to them. So we've supported them in making pledges and positive changes in their business. Many people think the resource centre is connected to the hospital because of its closeness, but actually it's not. It's a charity which is 30 years old, selling disability aids and adapts vehicles for people with disabilities. So the 3 pledges that have been made and accomplished, all employees to become a dementia friend, and they get a little badge with that. The dementia friend training is generally given by Lucy or Mel here, who are dementia champions. It only takes an hour and gives you a wealth of information about people living with dementia. Where possible, the signs are to be moved to a lower level, and dementia-friendly signage is to be put on the toilet door. And the till area is to be free of clutter and have a clear space for customers to sit whilst paying for their goods. And we've developed a little coinage sign that is laminated to help people to better understand the coinage that's being used. So, Shirley, if you'd like to come up, I'd like to invite Annette from the Disability Resource Centre to come and receive her certificates. Well done. If you come here and we'll... careful step. Right, okay, if you hold one and I'll hold... The other how's that? Is it just there? Okay. Well, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well done. The second organisation, I'm pleased to say, is the Harp Inn. And I know Nigel and Carly and colleagues are here this evening. I don't frequent the Harp because I don't generally go out drinking. I don't drink out. But if there was anywhere I would drink, it would be the Harp. All right. Now, since the owner Nigel took over the Harp, and barmaid Carly, they were very keen to get involved. And Carly's been personally affected by dementia in the family and dedicated her birthday to organising a fundraising money for the group. And a lot of time and effort was put in by Carly, who visited many local businesses and gathered donated prizes for the raffle. Brilliantly, they managed to raise £700 for the group, which has gone towards something that we'll mention later on. All right? So the 3 commitment areas that were made by the Harp were all employees of the Harp to become dementia friends, to display coinage signs on the bar, and to organise an annual fundraising evening for dementia-friendly Abergele. So I'm really pleased to invite Nigel and Carly and anyone else who's arrived to come up and receive the certificates. Well done. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Nigel.
Thank you. I know.
Hello there, how are you? Come on. Right, so we've got the certificates. There's the, and that's the Welsh one. So, okay, well, thank you very much. Carly, so, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you.
The third one is for Beautiful Day events, and I understand Debbie's here. Debbie worked with the group to make the recent very successful Arts and Food Festival more dementia friendly. I don't know if you went to it down in the Pentramore Park. It was a brilliant day, brilliant day. And you may have noticed that the vendors displayed the coinage value signs and helping people to locate the quiet area. The very fact nobody came to the quiet area doesn't matter. I think that was more our fault for not putting up a sign quiet area than anything else. But we do learn from these things, that's right. Debbie has since pledged that she, where possible, at future events will make them more dementia friendly. And Debbie is also about to launch the new dementia inclusive parties, so watch this space. So there are 4 commitment areas that Debbie's committed to. All employees of Beautiful Day events to become dementia friends and encourage others to become a dementia friend. Where possible, vendors at events will display coinage signs, to create a quiet area in events, and to create dementia-inclusive parties where music is adapted to enable reminiscence. And regular breaks from loud music are included. I would definitely love that. So, so I'd like to invite Debbie to come up and to receive her certificates. Hello, Debbie. How are you? Nice to see you. It was a really successful day.
Thank you. Well done and congratulations. Thank you.
So if you'd like to... There we are.
Thank you.
That's lovely. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to working with you. Now, the 4th organisation is Lord and Leslie. Yes, now, yeah, don't worry. Yeah. Susan and Jen. So Lord and Leslie's pledge is to make a quiet cut time available. It's now live. Now, I heard about this. Apparently, Lord and Leslie are closed on a Monday, and the staff have given up their free time to come in a Monday to have a quiet time for people to book appointments in a quiet area, which I think is absolutely tremendous. Do you know someone who would benefit from this? Perhaps a busy salon is just too much for people to handle. So instead, they can arrange a one-to-one appointment with a stylist on Mondays in the salon. No music, no other hairdryers, just a peaceful environment. And I think that would be very much enjoyed. So the pledges are all 4 staff to become dementia friends. I understand that's already taken place. As I mentioned, to make a quiet cut time available for one-to-one appointments for members of the public who are distressed by a busy salon environment. And in fact, it's not only people who are living with dementia, but it might be people living with autism and other things that make them slightly nervous and anxious about busy environments. So it goes beyond dementia. and to support dementia-friendly Abergele by displaying posters of public information sessions or events. I understand they're also going to coordinate a fundraising event with the Departure Lounge Wine Bar and Grill to raise funds to support dementia-friendly Abergele activities which benefit the public. And there's an EG, but we'll mention the EG later on. Okay. So I'd like to welcome Susan and Jen to come up and to receive their certificates. Susan and Jen. How are you? Thank you so much for coming.
I know you.
There we are. If you'd like to hold that. There we are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And our last but no least is a very important one, perhaps the most important one of the evening. Pardon? Oh, yes, sorry. No, right. I've missed one out somewhere. Ah, right. Yes, the salon in Towyn, although we are Abergele, dementia-friendly Abergele Pinsan, will support anyone from Llandillas up to the Blue Bridge in Kimmel Bay who wants to work towards becoming dementia-friendly. And when the salon connected with Mel recently, they were really keen to be made to make pledges and be involved. So the pledges that they've made is all staff to attend a Dementia Friends session, staff to help clients as much as possible, such as assistance with getting them home, helping with mobility aids, spending time to chat where possible, so important, to display dementia-friendly signage on the toilet and beauty rooms, to offer flexible working hours to employees who are caring for someone living with dementia, for stylists to connect with the local care home of people living with dementia and other discounted rates to homes. And we do have wristbands, which looks like none of us are wearing. But we do have dementia-friendly wristbands, and they are going to help to sell them for us to raise funds. So I'd like to ask the Salon Towyn to come up and to receive their certificates. Hi, welcome.
Well done.
There we are, something for you to proudly display. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
There we are. Okay, thank you. And it just shows you when I've got a script, it all goes wrong. So our final one is one I'm really pleased to welcome, and that is Sarah and Naomi and Lily. And Naomi and Lily are Brownies, and the second Abergele Brownies have become dementia friends. We need to thank the lovely young ladies of the second Abergele Brownies. In fact, they've made the table centerpieces for us as well, which is really wonderful. And we'll be able to use these at events in the future. That's wonderful. So the commitments that they've made, the Abergele second Brownies are to become dementia friends, the group leaders and assistants to become dementia friends, and one of these people to become a dementia friends champion to deliver the session to other linked groups such as Girl Guides or other local Brownies groups. We'll also communicate with the Community Youth Centre to create a dementia-friendly entrance to the building, all signs to all doors and rooms to ensure clarity and ease of travel round the building, and then to organise an intergenerational tea party for the Brownies' 70th birthday in association with Dementia-Friendly Abergele, to encourage dementia-friendly activities that are inclusive of all age groups, including singing original campfire songs. And this will allow the Brownies to provide hospitality to guests, including tea, coffee and cakes. And I think it's really wonderful that our younger people are getting involved with dementia. So I'd like to invite Sarah, and particularly Naomi and Lily, to come up and receive the certificates. Okay. And you are Naomi? Are you? Lily? And you must be Naomi. Welcome, how are you? You come and stand here.
There we are.
And I'll tell you what, perhaps I ought to come down a little bit, do you think? Is that all right? There we are, if we hold it like that.
Is the man taking the pictures over there?
Wonderful. Well done. I did mention that we had three or four organisations that couldn't make it this evening. I'd just really like to give them a mention because they've worked very hard and we have got certificates for them. The first is Beresford Adams, and Beresford Adams, they're quite limited in what they can do because, of course, they have a head office and they need permission at a higher level than the local branch. But even so, they've done what they can to be positive about dementia, and I'll just mention this. All 3 members of staff to become dementia friends and make the regional manager aware of the initiative and encourage engagement on a wider scale. The entrance to the building is to be made in a ramp for ease and safety to the public. And I'm a Dementia Friend sign to be added to the back of all the PCs so they're visible to the public. To put posters in the shop window to advertise the information session and to sell the wristband on behalf of the group. So although Beresford Adams can't be here, can we just give them a vote of thanks? Secondly, we were delighted that the Ithaca Cafe fulfilled their pledges, and Ithaca and Home Instead, which is on the main High Street, Market Street, they've launched a new friendship club. It's the last Wednesday of every month. Third Wednesday of every month in the afternoon at the Ithaca Cafe. And this is which is inclusive of people living with dementia, and the first one was held on the 21st of June. It was very well attended, and we hope to see this continue. Ithaca will allow the use of their computers to search for images to reminisce about and to help make a memory book where a person can save images of themselves and places that they've been or lived. So there are 3 commitment areas: all employees to become dementia friends, to put up dementia-friendly signage and create a dementia-friendly menu using images of meal choices as well as descriptions, which is really great, and set up a friendship club with Home Instead, which is to be inclusive of people living with dementia. So our thanks go to Ithaca as well. You may have noticed on the main street that there's a new cafe open called Raymond's. It's a family-run business, and they were very keen to become dementia friends. Unfortunately, the premises, if you've been in there, it doesn't allow for many physical changes to be made. However, they are the first cafe in the town to make pledges, and they'll also be the first to change the mat as you walk in. Now, although I'm medically trained, I actually didn't know until I became a dementia friend that if you walk into premises and there's a welcome mat and that happens to be black, for people living with dementia, it may appear as a hole in the ground. And I had real experience of this the other day. I played golf with a friend who does have mild dementia. And it was a lovely sunny day, and he was putting on the putting ground, and his shadow fell across the hole, and he suddenly stood back. He thought he was going to fall into something, and I thought, amazing to see something like that. So Raymond's are going to remove the black mat from their entrance and replace it with a more dementia-friendly coloured mat. All employees to become dementia friends. And they've actually said that they will provide a cake for each of the events that as a group we put on. And they'll help out at events if they have staff available. So we're very grateful to Raymond's. And again, although they can't be here, now the last one I want to mention, I don't know if you weren't here last year, but we had 7 groups here last year. And one of the groups was Brunellian School. And 3 of the students there, in particular, have revolutionised the way that not only the students but the staff perceive dementia at Brunellian. Of course, that's over in Old Colwyn. And we're very keen to have our students here in Abergele. And I'm delighted to say that Ysgol Glanmorfa is the first Abergele-based school to make their pledges as a primary school to work with the group. And Mr. Williams, who's the headmaster, has made working towards becoming dementia-friendly part of the whole school's focus during the next school year. Sadly, they're unable to join us this evening, so they're going to be presented with their awards at next year's ceremony. And what they said is that all staff are to become Dementia Friends on the 9th of April, Teacher Training Day, which are sessions to be delivered in Welsh by a fluent Welsh-speaking champion who also has experience of delivering sessions to children. And that took place. The pupils of the school to become Dementia Friends, and it's beginning with support from the Dementia Champion delivering to Year 6 pupils, and one or more members of staff to become Dementia Friend Champions in order to something or other, be able to roll out across the school from year 1 and above. So they're actually tackling the whole of the school. They're going to reconnect with Ticariad Residential Home to develop a relationship to deliver intergenerational activity. And this can take place once a term, so pupils can visit the home and do activities with residents such as craft, gardening and games. And they're also going to support the dementia-friendly Abergele events with pupils helping at events or providing a choir. So I'm really delighted that we've got an educational base with Ysgol Glamorfa in Abergele that's taking such great care in delivering dementia training and understanding to young children, because I think this shows great benefits. So again, I'm really delighted with that. Thank you, Ysgol Glamorfa. So, that actually brings us to the end of the presentation. There are a few thanks I'd like to give. I think, first of all, I'd like to give thanks to George and Carl on the cameras and the loudspeaker and the video. Thank you very much indeed for turning up. You're great friends of all organisations in Abergele, and we really do appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Shirley and her husband for coming this evening, and particularly Alan as well, and the Town Council for their support. I'd like to make a special mention of the steering group, who are all wearing these white T-shirts. There's Lucy, our secretary, who I couldn't do without. Mel, who's one of our dementia champions, who's a little powerhouse going out and getting people involved. Clara at the back, who's been involved taking photographs. We have Neris and Kerry and Viv and Joe, all individuals who've been working so hard in the last year and will continue to do so. There are just a few things. We beg and scrape for this evening. We pay for a few things, but so many people are generous to us in what they deliver. So Kimmel Manor, for instance, have provided the tablecloths. Alan and a friend from Woods Motorcycles brought the tables for us to use. I've mentioned the brownies and their wonderful centerpieces, and thank you so much for that work. It's lovely. And Pastor Kate in the church, in St Michael's Church, she convinced her ladies to make cakes for us. So I'm delighted now to say that there's a real opportunity, that you've seen who people are coming up. There's a real opportunity now to have a bit of a chin wag and just discuss how things are going and what have you done, and that sounds a great idea. We've provided cake, tea, coffee. It's all through in that room. Please feel free to go and help yourselves, but there's nothing else to say, Lucy, is there? Okay, thank you so much indeed for coming. We're very proud of Abergele from the steering group. Abergele's, we've now got a considerable number of businesses and organisations that are working towards making dementia a more friendly diagnosis within Abergele. We're just so delighted you were here this evening, and thank you so much. Oh, sorry? Oh. Right. Sorry, don't move. I did mention that little special thing that we were raising money for. I'm going to ask Lucy to discuss. I do it. Oh, she's shy. Okay, all right. Lucy came to us about, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
About 6 months ago to say, I've seen a brilliant idea. And it's a tour bus for dementia. And it's based in London, but comes out and you can hire it. And basically this bus allows you to get onto the bus, and inside the bus is a recreation of a domestic setup. And they fit you up as you go through this bus for 2 hours with equipment that makes you think you have dementia and gives you the experience of going through somebody's house as though you have dementia. Now, that's invaluable, really, because although we can listen to people such as Chris very eloquently, we can't really understand what people are seeing. But this gives us a great opportunity to bring the bus to Abergele so we can encourage carers, professionals, other groups to come onto the bus and to experience for a couple of hours what it is that people with dementia are experiencing themselves. Now, I'm really delighted to say, well, it was expensive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
£3,420.
Yeah, she came to me and said we need £3,400. But we've been we've got it. We've got the money due to the generosity of people such as the town council, who gave us £1,000. We've raised money outside Tesco. The Harp, yes, £700 from Carly. You know, all this is...
I think you should also mention the Rotary and Hammers.
Oh, the Rotary...
There's a charity that donated as well.
Yes, the Rotary Club donated £500 this year. And sorry, who else?
It was Hannah, wasn't it?
Hannah, yes, Hannah, that's right. Because she was president, it was her charity for the year. There are people, of course, I'm going to forget because my memory's not so good these days. But we've got the £3,400.
Actually, we're going to be doing blue tokens in Tesco's. So when you go around from now. So when you go into Tesco's, ask them for a coin when you're paying for something, and then put it in the dementia-friendly Abergele.
We're going to be one of the three for selection. So we hope that we can get more money to help us to get this. Now the bus is coming to Abergele, and it'll be the first time it's been to this part of North Wales. It has been to Wrexham for a day, but it's the first time, and it's coming for 3 days. Tesco very kindly allowed us to use their car park. They've also given us a room to use as a debriefing, etc. And we will be able to take 108 people over those 3 days and educate them in what it's like to have dementia. Of course, I've no idea what the experience is like, but I understand from people that have used it that it's an absolutely life-changing experience, and something that for, say, carers or people working in the field, I think they ought to know about. So watch this space. We've raised the money. The bus is coming the 10th, 11th and 12th of October. And I'm just so proud of Abergele for being able to raise that money. And thank you all. So, but that's it now, isn't it? So, meeting over. It's 20 to 7. Those of you who would like tea, coffee or cake or whatever, it's through the next room.
Can I just say a final word?
Oh, certainly. Sorry. Yes, sorry, Chair.
But I think this is important.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody here has a very close association with your society. Everybody here, I think, has been thanked. But the one person that hasn't been thanked is yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think without you, none of this would happen. I'm sure everybody would make sure it did happen, but I think you're the head of the...
Oh, well, that's very kind.
Thank you very much on behalf of everybody in Abergele.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you very much. Okay, I think that's definitely over now. So please help yourself. Thank you so much for coming. Help yourself, tea, coffee, cake. And any of us with white shirts on will be delighted to talk.